What's up, my people? This is ShowBizz the Adult. All right, man, look. About to cross my knee. And I'm keeping the do-rag on. This is going to be the rawest video ever made by ShowBizz the Adult. Wait a minute, coffee. Got lazy, ran to McDonald's. I'm gonna keep the palate moist and the energy up. Deontay Wilder said that he will be the highest paid boxer in the world. That's what he said. Let me tell you how I feel about that. About to loosen up my do-rag. I don't want no veins. There it is. Let me tell you how I feel about that. I ain't gonna hate the player, but I'm definitely gonna hate the game. The fact that he said that was something to say, is a reflection of the game and how poor the game is now. Oh yeah, he may end up being the richest, but the game is the poorest it's ever been. Let me tell you what I mean. The fact that he can even say that or felt that was something to say is a reflection of how poor the game is. I've told you guys before, I don't care if he's the richest, if he's the poorest. I don't care. I hope the best for these boxers, but I'm a boxing fan. I care about what I consume and what I pay for. Let me tell you guys a little story. The other day, I was sitting down just for fun watching George Foreman against Ken Norton. I love doing that. I love watching George Foreman fight. It's the funnest thing in the world, especially when he was younger, because the way he was hitting people, you could tell they were feeling those punches, okay? Now, Deontay Wilder called himself one of the devastating punches of all time. I agree with him. I think he is one of the devastating punches of all time, but I'm going to tell you who was, and that was George Foreman, in my opinion, okay? George Foreman came out the Olympics, gold medalist. This fight, I think he was 24 years old, young man, okay? By this time, he already had the heavyweight championship belt wrapped around his waist. You know how he got it? He beat Joe Frazier. He knocked out Joe Frazier. He murdered Joe Frazier. That was after Joe Frazier beat Muhammad Ali. Let's think about this for a quick second. You have George Foreman, a new young heavyweight champion or a new young heavyweight boxer, okay? A killer, knocking out everyone. No one's lasting past 2 rounds, okay? Came out the Olympics, gold medalist. He fought Joe Frazier. He had the opportunity to fight Joe Frazier after Joe Frazier beat Ali. Joe Frazier didn't say he got to get his rep up. He got to get his name built up. No. George Foreman was ranked #1. He was next in line for the belt. I don't care if you think he's popular or not. He's next in line for the belt. Joe Frazier, you got to fight him. I don't care how dangerous he is. I don't care how much you want his name to be popular or whatever. That wasn't the game back then. That wasn't it back then. That wasn't the culture back then. Joe Frazier had to beat him, and Joe Frazier got dominated. After George Foreman got the belt, he fought this guy named Roman. That guy was like 44-7. He had to defend his belt soon as he got it against another unknown, dangerous boxer. He beat him. He knocked him out. And then guess who else? Who he had to fight after Roman? Ken Norton. Ken Norton beat Ali. Okay, and then after, right before the fight with George Foreman, Ken Norton actually lost to Ali. But let me tell you a little quick story about that. I asked my mother one day, I was talking to my mother back when I was a little boy about how great Muhammad Ali was. My mother was like, yeah, he was the greatest. She said, but that man couldn't get past Ken Norton. I got a little bit older. I found out that Ali beat Ken Norton 2 times out of the 3. I told Mom, I said, you know, Ali beat Ken Norton 2 times out of the 3. I thought, you know, he couldn't get past Ken Norton. Mom said, that's what they say. When you watch that Ken Norton and Ali rematch, they robbed Ken Norton. Ken Norton beat Ali. He beat Ali, but that's okay. So George Foreman beat Joe Frazier. After that, he beat Roman. And then he had to face Ken Norton, who gave Ali hell for 2 fights. He had to face him. He couldn't play around. He couldn't have fake fights, get his popularity up, become the highest paid, anything like that. He had to fight Ken Norton. Guess what he did? He knocked Ken Norton out. But before he finished that fight, guess what fight was already made? Him against Muhammad Ali. That fight was already made. If George Foreman beats him, Ali is on the side talking to, what's my man's name? Howard Cosell. He's on the side talking to Howard Cosell. Howard Cosell's like, Muhammad Ali, what do you think about the young champion George Foreman? Ali said, I got that fight coming next if he wins. The fight was already made. That was the game. That's the game we love. George Foreman, the fact that Joe Frazier even had to fight George Foreman is the difference in the game. George Foreman beat Frazier. Then he had to go straight up against somebody 44-7, Roman. Then he had to fight Ken Norton. Then he had to fight Ali. To be the champion back then, you had to fight the fight. That's my only point. I'm not going to hate the player. Hey, Deontay Wilder, I hope you get all the money you possibly. You got babies. You got a family. I'm all for it. But the thing is, I'm for mine too. And if I'm going to watch a fight, if I'm going to pay for the fight, I want to watch the sport the way that I love the sport. Who represented the sport well, defined the culture well, was those guys. George Foreman, Joe Frazier, Muhammad Ali, Ken Norton. That's all I want to say. That's why I kept the do-rag on. That's why I'm rocking. That's why I got my knee crossed. That's why my voice is fluctuating. That's why I'm sweating. Comments like that, it's a reflection of my favorite sport. And I think one of the greatest metaphors in life, boxing, going downhill. ShowBizz the dope. Let me know what you have to say in the comments below. Do-rag. I'm out.